After 4 rounds across the North Island, the D1NZ Roadshow makes its way south to Powerbuilt Tools Raceway for the penultimate round of the National Drifting Championship, the first time the series has visited Christchurch in more than 2 years. With the title chase heading up for round 5, can Andrew Redwood and Mad Mike Whittett finally catch Fangadan, or will the Castrol-Edge Commodore hold its ground heading into the grand final? Don't miss the action right here on Oversteer TV. So after his win at Hampton Downs, Mad Mike Whittett jumps up into 3rd place and now becomes a popular dark horse for the championship chase as Andrew Redwood holds a 30-point buffer in 2nd position, while Fangadan still holds a comfortable lead with 370 points after 3 podiums including 2 wins. Practice kicked off in perfect Canterbury weather as D1's top stars lined up on the grid, ready for their first taste of the Ruapuna drift section. Local star Troy Forsyth was out to impress in front of a home crowd. The Southern Drifters proud to be playing host to the D1NZ series in Christchurch. Alright, we're here with the local man Troy Forsyth. Man, huge crowd in Christchurch, big turnout. The Southern people love their drifting.
Yeah mate, we're pretty dedicated down here. They pretty got a big heart to their motorsport and their drifting and that down here. Everyone thinks I'm a target since it's my home track, mate, but you know, at the end of the day, man, I'm just another driver like all these other guys.
So you've been around to local schools and stuff as well. How's that going?
Oh mate, it was pretty cool. I love kids, man, and I went to a couple high schools, Hornby High. We went to South Hornby, gave away free tickets, posters, stickers, you know, all the drama. All the kids just sat in the car smiling. They were so stoked, mate, and it's just good. I love it. It's just so much fun.
Yep. Despite roasting a turbo during qualifying, the team managed to patch the car back up and put the Rapid Performance S13 into 7th place. V8 campaigner Andrew Redwood was on form during practice, sitting 2nd in the points table heading into round 5, crediting the reliability of the Achilles FC RX-7.
Yeah, the points are getting closer and closer and closer, so it's just driving us to, you know, go that little bit extra hard and just try and, you know, take those risks and get up there in the points as everybody else is pushing too. So it really helps to, you know, just have a car that can be there for me all the time, you know. When I need the power, when I need the grip, it's always there.
Former champion and current series leader Fangadan has enjoyed the season so far, still holding on to the championship lead after 3 podiums including back-to-back wins.
You know, I want to win this championship, and that's the drive. So, you know, Redwood he wants to win the championship as well. So, where everyone's pushing pretty hard. He's driving really good. I'm driving good.
Making use of practice on day 1, the FDC team made several changes to the car heading into qualifying, eventually putting the Castrol-Edge Commodore in 9th place.
We've started playing around with spring rates. So we went a bit softer in the rear just to try and get it driving, you know, like we've got the gearing right. We feel pretty confident with the gearing, so we just got to get the drive out of that first corner.
Three-time champ Gaz Whiter unveiled a new 7-litre V8 in the Tectaloy S14 after suffering a big engine failure at Hampton Downs. But the bad luck seemed to follow with the new LS7 package as it caught fire in the pits.
We had a few teething issues where we didn't have a chance to test the car before Christchurch, so it was a bit of a shame. We should have known better, but yeah, we had a few breathing issues. We ran the same setup as the LS2, but being a bit, more CCs, this thing just pushes more air out, so we got it sorted and now it seems fine, so we're having a good time.
Bruce Tannock in the Achilles Radial S13 was looking strong early in the practice sessions, happy to be on a much longer flowing drift section at Ruapuna.
Car feels really, really good. I'm almost struggling for too much traction at times because in the sections when we come off the throttle, throw it sideways to, especially on the last dipper, when it comes into the double apex, you've got to get it. I mean, it's touch or go. If you get it right, it's awesome. If you don't, it's a real struggle to get to the last corner. I find with the 1-2-3 radial that it can almost bog down at times, so I'm beating on the clutch a little bit. But when you get it right, and you especially through the Marshall point, the right-hander, so almost like a 90-degree corner, you set it up beforehand, throw it in, just dial on full lock, keep your foot flat, feels real cool. Heaps of camber on the corner.
Kiwi V8 supercar driver Shane van Gisbergen was back behind the wheel of the Federal Tyres Falcon at round 5. Despite a good performance on day 1, a crankshaft breakage would see the Rattler Falcon out of action. Shane stepping into Darren Kelly's Pro-Am R32 Skyline.
Unfortunately, the Rattler broke an engine yesterday, so it was going really well, so I was feeling pretty comfortable in it, so a bit of a shame. But it's good of Darren Kelly to let me use his car. He did well, he won the Pro-Am, and yes, for me to go out there, it's awesome. And just in qualifying, getting used to it, it's quite different. It's like going to a 2-stroke from a 4-stroke. You got a clutch and handbrake a lot, and really drive it different. So, but getting used to it every run, it's a lot of fun.
Rattler Motorsport wasn't the only team facing engine dramas over the weekend. Defending champion Kurt Whittaker had a tough day in the office in the Autosure R34 Skyline. A cam-out issue would see the car out of action, and Kurt stepping into Ruben Armour's Pro-Am Cefiro, qualifying way down in 19th position. At the top end of qualifying though, Mad Mike Whittett was putting on a stunning display in the Red Bull RX-7, grabbing 6th place and a handful of championship points. The best of the southern locals was Cody Collis in the Epic Eye Budget Tyre S13, sitting 5th behind Shane van Gisbergen, with Andrew Redwood and Gaz Whiter taking 2nd and 3rd. At the end of qualifying though, it was NAC's Danum Templeman taking the spotlight in 1st place, his first pole position in the freshly rebuilt 2JZ powered FD RX-7. Danum Templeman, top qualifier for round 5 in Christchurch. Mate, how was it out there?
Yeah, really good actually. I goosed the first qualifying lap, and the second one managed to put it together, and yeah, had a really good run. Really happy with the car. It's finally come together, so yeah, really happy.
All right, how's that big crowd at Christchurch, man? The southern fans love it down here.
Massive, I think it's one of the biggest crowds we've had at drifting over the whole country. We're pretty happy with the crowd that we got at Tauranga, but this one, it's just non-stop people, shoulder to shoulder. It's just awesome. It's good coming to Christchurch and that, especially after all the disasters they've had. It's just good for the sport and good for the community.
All right, and how's that 2J holding up? Ready for the battles?
Yeah, no, all good. 2J all day now. I think it's going good, nice and strong, and makes my job a lot easier just leaving it in a gear and stand on it. So, pretty happy with the outcome, and thanks to Dad and Roscoe for all the hours that they've put in on the car, and thanks to everyone else that's helped us along the way.
All right, rock on out there.
Yeah, thanks guys.
So Danum Templeman tops the scores ahead of Andrew Redwood and Gaz Wider. Shane Van Gisbergen grabs 4th ahead of Collis, Widdett, Forsyth and Southern man Phil Sutherland, Dan Woolhouse and Gary Tanana rounding out the top 10.
This was left at hopes, no lie.
Well, the bad luck continued for Gaz Wider and the Drift Corp team over the weekend. The Tech Deloy S14 suffering a big engine failure in the last lap of qualifying. The session was red flagged and the car returned to the pits on the back of a truck. Our 3rd place qualifier knocked out of competition before it even starts. Don't go away, after the break it's battle time. Highlights of the top 32. Welcome back to the top 32 battle highlights at Ruapuna Raceway, kicking things off with Kyle Jackaway's driving teammate Jake Hakarai's DTM Nixon Tyre S13, and despite a big advantage on the lead run, Fangadan was not going to give up on the chase. Shane Van Gisbergen took a win over local driver Jared Reid in the 32, with Cody Collis taking an easy win into the top 16 as Robbie Nelson battled mechanical issues. Sky Zhao opened up a huge gap on Southern Drifters Tom Hadley, Chris Jackson taking a win over Bruce Tinnock after the Achilles S13 speared off onto the grass. Battling a misfire all weekend, Nico Reid was knocked out of the 32 by Gary Tanana. Kurt Whitaker progressing through to the top 16 after Ben Belcher pushed the Green Brothers RX-7 out wide into the dirt. Southern local Guy Kerr spun out against Zach Pole in the top 32. Troy Forsyth taking a win over Lindsay Lasson in the Morris Lubricants C33. Mad Mike and Johnny Latham would pair off in a battle of V8 vs Rotary. Mad Mike laying down a textbook chase on the LS1 powered RX-7. Red Bull taking the win. Heading into the top 16, Fangadan would meet Phil Sutherland in a battle of big four doors. Almost getting lost in the smoke, Fangadan had a tough battle keeping up with the 2JZ powered Safiro. Too close to call, the battle would go OMT with Phil Sutherland opening up a gap on his lead run. taking the win in front of a cheering home crowd, a surprise knockout for the series points leader. Drew Donovan put on a strong display in the V8 powered Mag and Turbo Gull Fuels S15, defeating Danum Templeman for a place in the top 8, while Shane Van Gisbergen fended off Sky Zhao in the 2 Degrees 570Z. Southern boys Chris Jackson and Cody Collis paired off in the top 16, Collis progressing through to the top 8 after the Surfab S14 took a spin on the double apex. After defeating Shane Allen in the top 32, Andrew Redwood's championship hopes took a big dive in the top 16. A gearbox failure would leave the Achilles RX-7 stranded in the pits, giving Cam Vernon a free pass into the top 8. Back on track, Troy Forsyth opened up a big advantage on Gary Tanana in the top 16, but things didn't go as planned in the chase run for Troy Forsyth. The Rapid Performance S13 straight lining on the final switch, Gary Tanana progressing through. Kurt Whitaker hunted down newcomer Joel Counter on the Achilles S14, taking a win into the top 8, while Mad Mike Whittett and Zach Poll would enter one of the biggest scraps of the weekend. To a cheering home crowd, the Rollet Bullet R33 played the underdog in one of the biggest highlights of the weekend. The battle far too close to call, it went to a rerun with Mad Mike laying down another tough chase. Despite putting on a stunning lead run in the final pass, Zach Poll would make a small mistake on the exit of the double apex, Mad Mike taking the win. In the top 8, Shane Van Gisbergen continued his stunning drive in the DKM Fabrication R32 Skyline, but Cody Collis was a man on a mission, laying down a solid chase run, progressing through top 4. Drew Donovan paired off with Phil Sutherland in the top 8, Drew giving the 2JZ powered Safiro a taste of V8 revenge, taking the win and moving into the top 4. Skinny Mobile's Cam Vernon stuck to the back bumper of Gary Tanana for a place in the top 4, taking a win over the Black on Black Industries C33. Kurt Whitaker did all he could in the top 8, driving Ruapuna A31 Safiro, and with Mad Mike hot on his tail, Kurt found himself in the dirt on the final pass, giving Mad Mike a ticket to the top 4. With a chance at standing on the podium, Drew Donovan and Cody Collis battle for every last inch of the track. Despite Drew's best efforts, Collis would lay down the better chase run, grabbing the win to his first ever D1NZ final. Finishing the top 4, Mad Mike continued his dominating performance in the Red Bull RX-7, monstering the back bumper of Cam Vernon and the Skinny Mobile R32. This would see Cam pair up with Drew Donovan for a shot at third place. The Skinny Mobile R32 going in too hot on the chase, handing Team D1NZ's Drew Donovan his first ever D1NZ podium. In the end, the final battle would be decided on the first corner as Mad Mike and Cody Collis lined up for a shot at first place. Cody Collis would bite the outside curb and end up in the dirt, Mad Mike taking back-to-back victories and grabbing his second round win of the season. So Mad Mike Whittett takes the round honours in first place ahead of Cody, the hometown hero, putting on a stunning drive in second for his first ever podium finish. Drew Donovan claiming third in the Magantua S15, another first time podium finisher ahead of Cam Vernon and Shane Van Gisbergen. Alright, we're here with our round 5 winner in Christchurch, Mad Mike Whittett. Man, championship chase, how's it all going now?
Oh man, it's actually been quite fun after round 2 with the blowing gearbox, knocking us back to 12th in points and then just fighting every round, and we've been swapping between both cars every round as well, with obviously trying to develop the RX-8 for international stuff. So also while trying to develop it, trying to compete and be competitive and get up the points table. Heading into this round we were third, so hopefully now this win may have bumped us up, but Fanga did have a pretty comfortable lead, but we just have to see the points table. And but yeah, today was hard work. It was awesome to be in the South Island again, but yeah, just the chasing, man, super difficult. With RX-7 we put a vote poll out for the locals down here. They picked for us to run the RX-7, which is a much harder car to drive, and when chasing it's just so hard to keep it in its power band, trying to keep it at a slower pace. But yeah, we managed to get through the day, get on the number 1 spot.
Taking a look at the championship points, and there we see Mad Mike moving up into second position behind Fangadan after fighting back from 11th place at the start of the season. Andrew Redwood drops back into third after his gearbox troubles, but Fangadan still holds that points lead after 5 rounds. The title chase is now well and truly red hot, heading into the grand final.
And maybe it's all a lie, but I am never gonna die.
Well, the grand final location is still yet to be announced, but you can follow all the action right here on Oversteer TV. Who will come out on top and reign as king and champion of New Zealand drifting? Subscribe now and don't miss it. Oversteertv.co.nz.